crispy.
Alright, so we back for another episode of Figures in Action. Although a lot of times it's not a lot of figures in action, it's just dials. But you know, y'all get the point. Anyway, got contacted by someone who wanted, I think he started off by saying he wanted a Subway. He might have started off by saying he wanted something else, but he wanted, I'm pretty sure it was straight Subway style, something Subway related. I hadn't done anything. And excuse my stuffiness, I just woke up and I need to do this video before I go to work. But I finished this late last night. And he wanted just a Subway, something Subway related. So I had done a couple of platforms and tracks years ago, but I haven't done it in a long time. And going back on that, those, I don't think I even recorded. I don't think I did. I wasn't doing the recordings at that point, or I wasn't recording my dials at that point. But was looking back at some pictures and I didn't like the way the track came out. I just thought I could have just done more details to the track. So I did a little research and figured out more or less how tracks are laid down and how they're constructed. So this is definitely a lot more accurate than my first two goals at creating tracks. And so he wanted a Subway. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to work into the ceiling because, you know, it's a Subway. It's an underground Subway. So he was curious to see how I was going to do it, as was I. And ultimately, all it is just two pieces. So when you lift it up, you can see it's just, you lay out the piece. This is glued here. So when it's obviously magnetized as well. So once it drops, it looks like it's just archways. Connected archways. I mean, if you look close enough, you can see it's not, obviously. But the illusion, when you take a picture, is that it's that archway that complements this archway where the train would flow into. He also wanted some graffiti, and obviously I'm never against graffiti, so I was like, word, let's do some graffiti. And his nickname was Troop, which is why I rocked the Troop right there, using paint markers, just regular acrylic paint markers, the ones that you click clack. This is, it's upside down, but you can see there's 16 inches across. It is 11 inches deep, 12 inches tall. The person who's getting this is actually fairly new to the toy photography hobby. So real quick, for you in particular, Eli, when you're taking pictures, one of the things you got to worry about now is because the track doesn't continue. So you're either going to light this up like I did here, you know, just light it up with some, you know, this is just some foam board. Or you can put poster board, whatever you want to do in terms of the color you want in the background. Or at the same time, you can put this like on a table and make sure that there's some distance from this to the end of the other room that it's facing. And if you darken that room out, then the great thing is that it looks just like a really dark tunnel. And it'll hide some of this when you do the photography. Because again, you're doing a picture and you're doing something here, it just looks like the track ends. And it won't really, you know, you want to sell the illusion, especially with ACBA. The whole point of it is to sell the illusion of that shot, to make like the figures look like they're in their own world, their own world environment. So keep that in mind, Eli. It is challenging to shoot in a dial like this, but if you do shots like that, you're better off and contain the shots, you know. But ultimately, the good thing is that Eli is also a dial maker, so he may be able to extend that track based on seeing this. And I need to erase some memory on batteries, or not my battery, rather my space. I had to delete a couple videos. Anyways, coming back real quick. So, how was this created? This is basswood, just two pieces of basswood glued together. They're longer, so I had to cut them. This is balsa wood here. So the first thing I did, and I actually have this picture, so I'll show the the before, where I just laid down the tracks. I glued in between each one. I used sawdust and like this gravel that I have, and then some like pebbles. So I used three different. Wanted to go for three different textures, so that's what I was looking for. And then once that dried, I painted everything black, and then I did a dry brush of like a light gray to bring that out a little more. I did a dry brush as well. I also laid some sawdust back here, and I did a dry brush, but I stuck to brown as it was closer to the wall. Usually this is more or less what it looks, the colors look like on the gravel in between the tracks. For the back, again, this is just a piece that I cut out pretty much and then sanded down so to give it that curve. Other pieces of 1 inch foam. So the only thing this is all actually no skinny foam board for the first time I've noticed in a while. I usually always incorporate skinny foam board somewhere. So this is all 1 inch insulation foam board. And I think that's it. I drilled a couple little holes here so I could just kind of lay some electrical type of work, as it's something that I quoted in the price I was quoted. I told them I'd leave some electricity or something, so I wanted to kind of add that, give it a nice little touch. And it breaks away in 4 parts. So it's this top wall here, and everything goes tumbling behind it. Boom. And so again, magnetized at the bottom there, magnetized at the top there. I think I have a magnet right there, and there is no magnet in that corner, but there is a magnet in that corner. Also, thanks for checking out my videos, and as always, I appreciate the likes and the comments. This is actually a really good practice piece for me. I should call it a practice piece because I went all out for this piece, but I mean, I'm actually working on a bigger project that incorporates a lot of tracks. So this is gonna this was a good little jump off, I guess is a better word for it, and I felt comfortable with the process that I use. Oh, and this is, so I'm sorry, this is, I never finished. This is a foam sheet, brown foam sheet, and I just took a pen and I took the pen out of the case and I spun it around and kind of gave it that those circular, almost like where screws would have been or should be. And these are just these staples. These staples you can buy at Home Depot. They're bigger than staples, but they resemble staples. And I think you hammer them is how you go about putting them wherever you need to put them. And again, paint markers at the back. And that is it. And I am out of here. Peace out.